So Paul writes to Timothy that he has survived his first offense. The first offense, no one was here, but the Lord delivered me. That implies there was a second defense. At least Paul was anticipating a second defense, another time when he'd have to stand and give an account. Here's what he says. The Lord delivered me from the jaws of the lion. That kind of flips back to the Daniel story, remember, where God saved Daniel from the lion's den? And he said he did it so I could preach to all of the Gentiles. For Paul, the only thing that mattered was preaching. And we know this is true because anytime Paul was given a chance to speak, he didn't speak, he preached. He was brought up before Agrippa on charges, and he was given a chance to defend himself. And instead of giving a defense of his life, Paul preached the gospel to the point that he gives an invitation to Agrippa. For Paul, the only thing that mattered was preaching the good news of Jesus Christ. The only thing that mattered to Paul was that one more person be able to hear the good news and that the Lord give him a chance to keep on preaching. Now, I love to preach, but what Paul is talking about is more than that. He's talking about evangelism. I love to have the chance to talk to anybody, everybody, about the good news of Jesus Christ and what God the Father has done for us in his Son, Jesus Christ. He begins the Philippian letter by telling the Philippian church, I want to tell you what's happened because of my imprisonment. Because I've been in prison here, the whole Praetorian Guard has heard the good news of Jesus Christ. Paul witnessed to every one of the soldiers who guarded him. On it goes. Every time Paul has a chance, he opens the door for some moment of evangelism. For Paul, that was the only thing that mattered. If there's anything missing in our churches today, it is this sense of urgency, this sense of I've got to do this or die trying. I've got to be able to find my friend so I can tell him what God has done for him in Jesus Christ. I've got to be able to tell my neighbor what God has done and the difference that can make. Lives are at stake, and the only thing that matters right now is preaching, evangelism. For Paul, it was literally the only reason he lived, was so that he could tell someone about the good news of Jesus Christ. Now, if you were writing your last letter, would that be the reason that you wanted to stay alive? I hope God gets me through this so I can tell one more person about who he is. If there's one thing that's missing now, it's a sense of urgency. What have you got to do to get that sense of urgency? I'll give you 60 seconds to get started, and I'll see you tomorrow.